Okay, so today, ladies and gentlemen, we're talking about a very, very important element in business. We're talking about a factor that's important to everyone when they start a business. Because taking a business from an entity that you start, an entity in which you invest your own money or investors' money, and making it a profitable entity, saving it from bankruptcy and saving you from losing your money, requires a certain number of skills. And those skills are skills that people actually learn. It's not skills that people are born with. Does everybody understand this? Yes or no? Does everybody understand what I'm saying? Then you all put up your hands and show me you understand. Come on, guys, you know, every time I ask, everybody's hands must go up. All right. So it's really important that when you create a business, you need to understand the complexities required to create a business. You need to understand the skills required to run a business. So today, we're going to be looking at skills required for business, but not only skills required for business, we're going to be looking at particular important skills required for business. One moment, please. All right, here we go. All right, so today we're looking at skills known as the ideology and innovative ideas for future entrepreneurs. So if you want to start a business, whether you have one now or you're starting one in the near future when you graduate, you need to have certain ideas which have to be creative and innovative. Without these, you're doomed for failure. And this is not my idea. This is the idea of industrialists and proven businessmen and entrepreneurs all around the world. Okay, so today we're going to look at 7 core areas that are required in your ideology and in your pursuit to become rich. They are to understand what is business ideology, what are the key ideologies you have to remember, how do you generate business ideas, and how do you decide whether a business idea is workable, profitable, and achievable, and what ideas or what basis to use to build a business model. How important is the financial planning before you start a business? And how do you go from being average, unemployed, average school leavers who are currently studying for higher education and wanting to develop a successful mindset, a mindset where you can have a career or become a successful entrepreneur? These are all 7 critical elements you need to be successful. Can everybody understand me? Can everybody hear me? Can you put up your hands, please? Come on. I need to see hands automatically. Everyone, come on, hands up, please. I want to see hands waving. Come on, Razia. Mervyn, I need to see your hand. No, Mervyn, I need to see you wave your hand. Thank you, Mervyn. I need to see people waving their hands. Jenny, Lisa, Fiora, did you understand what I said? Thank you very much. Jane Valdez, I need to see your face on camera or you'll be marked as absent. Jane Valdez, I need to see you. Thank you, Jane. All right, so ladies and gentlemen, let's start by talking about what is a business ideology. What does the word ideology mean? Well, it's a very simple word in actual fact, ladies and gentlemen. Ideology is an idea. It's an idea that results from your creativity and your ability to think creatively. Business ideology, ladies and gentlemen, basically refers to a set of beliefs, values, and principles that guide someone or a person or a business's actions decisions, and strategies. So understanding business ideology is important because one, it defines the company or business mission and vision. It will give shape to your organization and the organizational culture. It will influence decision-making processes and impacts relationships with stakeholders. Yes, it will impact relationships with stakeholders. This is a core requirement, or these are core ideologies in business. And in order for business to be effective, you need to have ideologies. You need to have the basis or a mission and vision. So the 4 elements or 4 reasons for having a creative ideology are critical in any business format. So when we look at these, ladies and gentlemen, let's ask ourselves, number 1, the idea of starting a business over the many years has evolved through various economic systems and cultural movements, influencing how organizations operate, understanding the evolution of business over the years that people have learnt from, which provides business entrepreneurs with values and ideas in business to make them more successful. You know, I've told you many times that the more mistakes you make and the more you learn, the more successful your business will become. You need to understand the contemporary relevance of the business you're starting. In today's 21st century economy, you need to ask yourself, what is the business environment like? How do shoppers think? What sort of customers am I looking for? And what are the 5 answers to the centricities, customer-centric ideals that the customer believes in? You need to be able to answer all these questions as part of your business ideology. So a business ideology is basically a guiding principle. What do we mean by a guiding principle? Let's remember when you were first born and started walking or crawling. The first time you rolled over and then you started crawling, sometimes you hurt your knee or ankle, you hit your head somewhere, but you didn't give up. As you crawled and learned how to crawl, you became stronger at crawling. Then you started standing up. As you stood up, you fell. You learned from that. Eventually, you stood up, you walked, and eventually you ran. So each element of you, from going from a baby rolling on a mat to crawling, to walking, to running, are steps or principles that you learned from, that guided you to become someone who can walk today. And this same thing goes for business. Strategic decision making. You need to have a business ideology. You need to have a standard thinking process, or you need to have ideas about what sort of business you're going to run and how you're going to run it, and what sort of decisions have been made and need to be made as you go along. Because any decision you make may affect the long-term future of the business, or they can affect the short-term future of the business if the business is unable to show any profit. So the core idea in starting a business is to be able to understand what your prospective customers want. You need to understand who they are. You need to understand how they think, what they want, where they want it from, how soon they want it. And all of these are part of the 5 elements of customer centricity that you've learned before. No matter what you do through your research and what you understand of the customer's thinking, at the end of the day, you have to come up with a business idea which will give the customer reason to buy from you. There must be a competitive advantage. All right, so let's look at Apple, for example. Apple business ideology is very much centered on the pursuit of excellence through innovation, creativity, making their phones simple to use, simplicity in design and user experience, and the creation of an integrated ecosystem, hardware, software, and services. And what they've done is created such an ecosystem and a language that majority of people find so easy to use. This core focus is supported by a strong set of values that include a deep commitment to customer satisfaction, user privacy, and social responsibility. These are fundamental business ideologies which Apple centers its business on. Okay, these are the things that Apple and all its employees look at covering or working to every day, ideally. Samsung. You all know Samsung, right? Everybody here knows Samsung. Can you wave your hands if you know Samsung? Samsung, ladies and gentlemen, is focused or devotes its talent and technology to creating superior products and services that contribute to a better global society. Samsung philosophy is supported by a set of 5 core values and 5 business principles that guide the company's operations and decision-making worldwide. So Samsung, same as Apple, tries to control its business ideology in order to ensure that they are profitable. Let's talk about McDonald's, the Golden Arches. Does everybody here know McDonald's? Yes or no? Can you wave your hands if you know McDonald's? Come on, wave your hands. Okay, McDonald's business ideology is rooted in speed, affordability, and consistent quality. That's what Raymond Kroc taught McDonald's. Through a highly standardized and franchised model, the Golden Arches, McDonald's focuses on operational efficiency, which it achieves through a modernist approach to production and administration, while its marketing uses a postmodernist approach to adapt to local cultures and provide a sense of hyper-reality or exciting reality. Now, when you think of it, McDonald's is almost a household name in every country in the world. And no matter what country you go to and talk to, they all know McDonald's. They'll be able to acknowledge the word, but they may not be able to acknowledge the logo. Does everybody understand this? Yes or no? Come on, guys, put up your hands, please. Make my job easier. Yes or no? Everybody understand this? Yes or no? Very good. So, ladies and gentlemen, it is very, very important that the ideologies that a business believes in, or the ideologies that the business decides to focus on, for example, speed, affordability, and consistent quality. These are very core ideologies that need to be put into place and communicated to all their staff. If we look at Samsung, Samsung is more on devoting its talent and technology to creating superior products and service that contribute to a better global society. Samsung is more into developing a product based on the customer service experience that they get from their customers, and they're more on providing their customers a superior level of technology. Let's go back to Apple. Apple are focused on innovation, coming up with products that are simple to use and having them available in an integrated ecosystem of hardware and software. Again, Apple is very innovative, totally different to Samsung. And Apple has the added advantage. Apple can communicate with its customers anytime. They can actually go to Apple's website, they can open a ticket, and they can chat with Apple and its representatives. But Apple is very transparent. So once somebody at Apple joins the company, they make sure that these people understand what the core business is focused on. Being innovative, understanding simplicity in the product and the product that Apple sells, and of course, the ecosystem that Apple is in, and then focusing on delivering that to its customers. Samsung is more focused on technology and creating superior products, but it doesn't really focus on the level of service it delivers to its customers. It only focuses on the technology. McDonald's is a fast food restaurant, which you all know. All right, does everybody understand what I mean now? Does everybody understand what I'm talking about, guys? Yes or no? Come on, guys, show me your hands. Everybody wave their hands for me. Come on, hurry up. I want to see hands everywhere. Hurry up. Everybody understand? Great, excellent. Does everybody understand it? Please don't be shy. If you don't understand, put your hand up. Come on, guys, don't be shy. I'm here to teach. I'm not here just to talk. If you don't understand what I'm said, you need to put your hand up and let me explain what I said. Again, there is so many people that have switched off your camera. Not even half of you have sent me a message saying you're at work. So this is my final reminder. If your camera is already switched off and there is no message from you saying you're at work, that means you will not get a certificate for attending this class. You must switch on your camera unless you're at work and you have sent me a message. Please cooperate so you learn something. Thank you. Please stop sending messages. You send them later. I told you to send the messages at the beginning of the lesson. Okay, so please hurry up. If you want to send me a message that you're at work, do it now because you're late. You must switch on your camera for attendance at the very beginning. You're only allowed to switch it off if you sent me a message you're at work. Otherwise, you'll be treated as absent. Should I call your name, you need to switch on your camera to show me that you're at work. Thank you. All right, so guys, so what we said earlier is the fact that ideology is part of creativity. Does everybody agree with that? Do you agree with that, Sabina? To have ideology, you need to have a creative mindset. Am I right, Sabina? Very good. And to have a creative mindset, Salvacion, you have to constantly be thinking of problems that you're going to solve for the world. Do you understand that, Salvacion? So in order to solve the world's problems and come up with new products or services, that is the only way you're going to be able to do that is by being creative. Every day, the world is facing problems. Every day, the world is trying to figure out how to fix those problems with a product or service. and make the world a better place to live in. But the only way you can participate in that is if you have a mindset focused on new ideas all the time. Does everybody understand this? Yes or no? Let's talk about McDonald's, ladies and gentlemen. Every month in Singapore, McDonald's comes up with a new burger, a new promotion, correct? And this new promotion changes from month to month. The idea of that, what McDonald's is trying to say to its customers is, we hear you. And here is a new burger which will only offer for 1 month to keep you interested and to keep you hungry for more exciting McDonald's products. And this is part of the ideology that McDonald's has of being creative and coming up with new menu items on a regular basis. Does everybody understand this? Yes or no? Okay, so if we go back to iPhone, iPhone comes up with a new model every year. So from year to year, their R&D is working years in advance to develop those models. But you must understand, without ideological thinking and without people who have a sense of technological creativity, neither Apple nor Samsung could do that. Does everybody understand this? Yes or no? Thank you. Okay, so later on, I'll add some examples of McDonald's in addition to what I have. So Miss Anu, do not send the link to anyone today. They'll all receive the material by email because a lot of them have not switched on their camera and had not sent messages for attendance. So everybody will only get the material once we've checked the attendance, and it will be sent to them on Tuesday or Wednesday, okay? Because only people who switch on their camera or actually have their attendance recorded should be getting the lesson material, because I have to send you a certificate saying that you've attended and participated. But if you're not here, how can I send you that certificate? Does everybody understand this? Yes or no? So providing you're here, providing you've actually sent a message, you're at work, and had your camera on for attendance, you will receive the material together with your certificate. Thank you. All right. So remember, ladies and gentlemen, ideology is part of your thinking. Without the right mode of thinking, you cannot be successful in business. Do you all understand that? Yes or no? Okay, let's keep going. Okay, can we keep going, please? So, as you know, McDonald's focused on speed, affordability, and consistent quality. Now, McDonald's also has another focus in its business plan of having a standardized and franchise model, because McDonald's don't want to own all 14, 15, 16,000 stores around the world. So they have this concept where businessmen invest and buy a franchise in McDonald's, and McDonald's teaches them how to operate it. So in order for people to invest $500,000 or $1 million or $2 million becoming McDonald's franchisees, that McDonald's has to be able to show them how they can deliver with speed, affordability, and consistent quality, so people will love to come and buy and eat McDonald's. Okay, how many of you here are McDonald's customers? If you're a McDonald's customer, put your hands up, please. Thank you so much. All right. McDonald's customer is usually somebody who either loves their burger or loves their French fry product. How many of you love their French fries? Put your hand up if you love their French fries. Come on, hands up for French fries. You mean to tell me there's only 2 people that love French fries? Come on. It is a well-recorded statistic that 99.998% of customers who walk into a McDonald's walk out with French fries. All the other products come as secondary, not primary. The primary product that people love at McDonald's are their world famous French fries. And what comes with it is either a burger or a drink. But 99.998% of every customers that walk in around the world will end up with a meal of French fries. Does everybody understand that? Yes or no? Okay, so let's talk about the other businesses. Why do people buy iPhone? Because iPhone promotes an image of being technologically advanced, of being the smartest phone, smartphone, better camera, better graphics. That's why people buy iPhone, because iPhone is able to provide them new technology, new ideology. Thank you so much, Mr. Abdul. Thank you, mate. All right, so Apple is able to provide them an advantage over Samsung. Yes, security too. Apple is an encrypted device. That means it's harder for people to actually breach security on your device because it's encrypted. Samsung has encryption as well now. They copied Apple. Is the Samsung level of encryption as good as Apple? Unfortunately not, based on what experts are saying. All right, so Apple is always trying to solve problems that users of their phones are having through having an ideological and creative way or plan in place. Does everybody understand this? Yes or no? Remember we said last week or the week before that when Steve Jobs created Apple, he had a methodology or his own method or his own history or policy. And he brought up this idea that Apple doesn't tell people what to do. Apple tells people what they expect them to do, but they also pay people for knowing how to do it. All right. So Apple employs an engineer. They do not dictate to the engineer how to do the job, but they tell the engineer how they want him to do it and what the goals he must meet. Apple doesn't believe in teaching people or deciding people's learning needs. Apple asks its people to tell them what they want to learn and how that will help them deliver their job. And that's why Apple is so successful, because the responsibility about improvement, the responsibility about their team becoming more creative or learning more is put back in each and every staff member's hands. It's for them to apply to Apple's HR department and say, I need this training. Does everybody understand that? Yes or no? You sure? Okay, great. So Android is definitely risky because Android is an open source, but it has a different protocol or a different basis or structure for them to build it. You know, I have Android, I have iPhone. Which one is a safer environment? Of course, iPhone. iPhone wins over Android every time for being safer, more creative, faster, and more technologically advanced. Does everybody understand that? Yes or no? All right. So we've talked about ideology. Let's go on with our lesson. Okay, so let's go on. Let's talk about the key areas of business ideology that a business must have. You've looked at Apple, we've looked at Samsung, we looked at McDonald's, three of the largest business entities in the world. Okay, so number one, characteristics. Capitalism is characterized by private ownership of production, market competition, and the profit motive leading to innovation and economic growth. So the first characteristic that is important in business ideology is capitalism. You really have to believe that ownership of your own business factory, being able to come up with the requirements and go into production, being able to compete with others, and being able to generate a profit and stay strong in today's economic world is one of the core ideals or ideologies of being a successful entrepreneur. Number two, benefits of capitalism include efficiency, consumer choice, wealth generation, while challenges encompass market failures and economic volatility. Remember, I said that the more failures you have, the more you learn and the more successful you become. Does everybody understand that? Yes or no? Does everybody understand this? Yes or no? Can everybody please wave their hands if they understand what I said, please? Does everybody understand what I've said? Wave your hands for me, please. Very good. Excellent. Excellent. It's all about using common sense. It's all about understanding what it requires to be of service to a customer. But before you can understand your customer, you need to understand what your product has and how you're going to manage providing the product through your service in each market. Does everybody understand that? Yes or no? Okay. All right, here we go. All right, so we've looked at characteristic number one and characteristic number two of capitalism. Capitalism is important because capitalism is what drives profitability in every business. All right, let's go on to social enterprise. There's a difference between an enterprise set up for capital gain or capital return, which means profit on your investment, and something set up to support a social enterprise. Okay, definition and scope. Social entrepreneurship usually blends social goals to help a charity or to help a cause with businesses practices, aiming to address social issues while maintaining financial sustainability and fostering community development. So they're not aimed at making a profit, but producing enough money to fund the cause they're supporting. Number two, social impact. What is the social impact on entrepreneurship and business people? By creating innovative solutions to social problems and empowering communities, especially if you're running a social entrepreneurship, well, they bring great benefits because otherwise many people in third world countries would never know about what it means to have a business which is focused on capital return. So it's very important and open that people who are prepared to learn about this should learn about it. It's no good just to ignore it. All right, let's go on, guys. Okay, so let's look at it. What are the key business ideologies that Apple brought to its business? What are they? So if we look at Apple and the business that Apple has created, let's ask, what are the key points that Apple actually ideologies, if you don't want to call it key points, what are the key ideologies that Apple bring to their customers? All right, so it's not about basically just capitalism. It's not about the idea of social entrepreneurship, but Apple has a main focus and its key business ideologies, again, are centered on innovation, minimalist, simple design, and an ecosystem which its customers can use in full. These principles are guided by core values outlined in their earlier marketing philosophy, which are empathy, focus, and attribution. So for Apple, the most important elements are creativity, innovation, minimalist design, keep it simple so people can use it in an integrated environment such as the iPhone. So let's talk about each and every one of these individually. First, Apple focuses on innovation and excellence, and that's what you need to focus on in your business. Apple is dedicated to relentless innovation. Apple is always focused on coming up with more innovative solutions, more creative and innovative technology in its phones. User experience. Apple is very much set out to make sure that whatever new products they send around the world can easily be understood and used by their customers. They have an ecosystem which is open and integrated now. So the ecosystem will basically provide information and all the other support that an Apple phone user can utilize. It's all about being able to integrate your product into the ecosystem that one of your other products operate in today. Premium brand and design aesthetics. Well, Apple positions itself as a premium luxury brand. And this is something else you have to decide. Are you going to position yourself as a premium luxury brand, or just a luxury brand, or just an everyday brand? All of these things are parts of the decisions that have to be made. And these need to be set out clearly to make sure that when you start a business, you understand exactly what your responsibilities are. Apple also has guiding principles. And these guiding operations or guiding principles in operations are guided by Apple's marketing philosophy, which includes 3 core important principles: empathy, understanding customer needs and anticipating their unexpressed desires; 2, focus, doing a few things exceptionally well by saying no to thousands of other projects; and the last one, attribution, presentation. People judge a product on its cover, so you have to make sure the product meets the presentation standards that are required. All right, Apple also have some modern 21st century values, and some of these values were actually evolved or improved when Steve Jobs died. His person who took after Steve Jobs, Tim Cook, which was trained by Jobs, actually found himself in a position where he understood the responsibility of IAU. He understood how much the core values, including strong commitment to social environmental responsibility, means. All right. He understood what they mean to Apple. He understood how important these were to Apple's customers. So you need to have modern values that take into account today's consumer ideology. Number 2, privacy. Customers' privacy is a critical element. Apple views privacy as a fundamental human right and designs its products to protect user data and give user control over their information. Environment. The environment or the company has to be committed to leaving the world better off than it found it at the beginning with its new products or services. Inclusion and diversity and racial equity and justice. Well, guys, these are very simple and they go along with any business, not only with Apple. These initiative reflects the company's commitment to a more inclusive workplace and a more just workplace. So all of these modern values, together with guiding principles, are what make Apple rely on this sense of ideology and understanding what the product or service has to offer. Does everybody understand this? Can you put up your hands, please? Come on, guys, put up your hand if you understand what I've explained. Does everybody understand what I just explained? Yes or no? Come on, I want to see hands. I only see 2 hands. There's 244 of you. Can everybody wave if you understand what I explained? Mary Jane? Very good. So remember, Mary Jane, that Samsung, Apple, and McDonald's are only a small example. They're only a very small example. There's many other companies around the world that also use ideological processes when they come up with their goals or what they want to do. Okay, there is many others, but the idea is those who do it well or those who don't do it well and fail. Okay, so let's go back. We've covered Apple's guiding principles. Let's talk about Apple's modern values. Since Steve Jobs, its creator, died, Tim Cook, having taken over from Jobs, has basically expanded the core values that Apple had under Jobs to include more stronger commitment to social and environmental responsibility. He's also highlighted privacy as a fundamental human right. And he's made a clear statement that Apple is committed to leaving the world a better place than it found it, with goals for carbon neutrality across its entire supply chain by 2030 and the use of recycled materials. Inclusion and diversity and racial equity for justice. These are 4 core elements that not only Apple have in their modern values, but every entrepreneur and business person should have these as part of their modern values if you're running a business today. Does everybody understand what I explained? Does everybody understand what I explained, guys? Yes or no? All right. Remember, guys, it's all about making the business successful, making your investment into an entrepreneurship, self-entrepreneurship, or into a business you're starting profitable and successful. Does everybody understand this? Yes or no? Can you wave your hands? Very good. Does anybody have any questions so far? Any questions? Mary, do you have any questions, Mary Jane? Mary Jane Vedita? No? Okay. All right. If you have any questions, please just put up your hand. Okay, let's keep going, guys. Okay. So now let's talk about how do we generate these business ideas? What do we have to do to come up with these business ideas? Well, the very first simple step is to brainstorm, to have brainstorming sessions with your whole team, management team, and staff, and decide what sort of brainstorming is needed. Then teach these people how to do it, make sure they're trained at doing it, and help them do it. Does everybody understand this? Yes or no? So brainstorming is a session where you and other people come up with ideas, brainstorming, nitpicking your brain for ideas. The next one is mind mapping, where you basically put down all your ideas on paper and draw a mind map with them. If you don't know what a mind map is, please message me and I'll send you an example after today's lesson, because we've learned about a mind map in a previous lesson. Okay, so what are the importances of market research in being able to come up with an ideology? Remember, this whole lesson today is about the importance of an ideology in building a business. So the importance is identifying gaps, understanding customer needs. These are two major requirements in business research that must be done in order to be able to justify doing something in business. No matter what business you do, these must be in place. Does everybody understand this so far? Yes or no? The other core element, ladies and gentlemen, is evaluating business ideas. You need to be able to understand what business proposal or business ideas you receive and what are they about in summary. If you can't answer that, then it means you either don't understand what the business core is or core business is, or you don't understand the main objectives of that company. Does everybody understand what I mean by evaluating a business? Yes or no? Because if you can't evaluate the ideas you have or the business that you're thinking of taking over, then you're not evaluating anything. And at the end, you'll just lose your money. Does everybody understand that? Yes or no? Does everybody understand that? Put up your hands. Let's go. Come on. Murphy, do you understand it? Lucilla, Ingram, please wave your hands or wave your hands. Show me that you understand it, not just have your permanent hand up. Come on, please. Play a role in the class. Come on. Okay, all right, very good. Murphy, do you understand it, Murphy? Murphy? Okay, all right, good. So evaluating business ideas. So we've covered the importance and techniques of market research. We've also spoken about evaluating business ideas. Because, guys, evaluating business ideas is critical, because when you evaluate an idea, you actually figure out whether it's financially viable, whether it can be afforded or not. You look at the market potential to understand how many customers you have in order to prepare a budget of financial viability for your new business. And you determine the strengths and weaknesses of your current business and the strengths and weaknesses of your competitors. Next part is you have to consider all the opportunities that are available for you out there to take over or take some of your competitors' customers, and what are the operational threats that you may face. So, does everybody understand what I mean by the fact that in business, guys, in business, you need to basically, just hold on, guys, my screen is stuck. So we spoke about evaluating business ideas. So to evaluate business ideas, it involves you using certain tools to establish financial viability and market potential. Financial viability, of course, is where you look at money and how much money you have and how you're going to raise money, where market potential is how well will this product do in the new market, depending on your research and understanding of the 5 C's for that product in that market. Okay, so one of the tools you can use is SWOT analysis, where first you look at the strengths and weaknesses of your business and your competitors. You look at the opportunities and threats that you have. So the opportunities are your competitors' weaknesses, and your threats are your competitors' strengths. Building a business model. Okay, first, in order to build a business model, you must first have a value proposition. A value proposition is a statement that defines what makes your product and its offers to its customers unique. You need to understand what the needs of the customers are and how do you differentiate yourself with your product or service from your customers. All right, so value proposition is something that you have to have on the table before you can offer your product or service to real customers. What's a value proposition in buying McDonald's? Well, you get healthy food or healthy junk food cooked at a reasonable price that you can afford. Okay, so let's look at it. If we talk about value proposition, if you're a housewife and you want to buy a new vacuum cleaner, what would be a value proposition in the vacuum cleaner? Can anyone tell me what would be a new proposition in a vacuum cleaner? Can anybody tell me what would it be? What would be a value proposition in buying a vacuum cleaner? Okay, let's stop sharing, please. Can we stop sharing, please, Anu? Okay, what would be the value proposition in buying a vacuum cleaner? Who can give me an idea? Come on, I want to talk to you. Okay, Salvacion, what's the value proposition for you to convince you to buy a vacuum cleaner? Can you open your microphone and tell me, Salvacion? Go ahead. Can you let Salvacion open her microphone, please? Go ahead, Salvacion. What's the value proposition for you? So what's the value
Just one moment, guys. Can everybody hear me now? Great. Yes? Okay. Let's fix this. It's something wrong with Zoom. Okay, let's put it back in and let's get it working. Can everybody hear me now? Yes? Fantastic. Can everybody hear me now? Come on, guys. Wonderful. Okay, so let's go back. So Salvacion said that the value proposition in a vacuum cleaner was the number of bags that she got with that vacuum cleaner. That's one value proposition. But I bet you there's another value proposition. How strong is the motor on that vacuum cleaner, right, Salvacion? Because if you have very thick carpet in your house, how strong is the motor? Will it take the dust out of the carpet? And the stronger the motor, the cheaper the machine. She wants a machine that has got a good value price with a stronger motor, value proposition. All right. Let's talk to someone else. Let's talk to who? Who's going to talk to me? Cleanliness, convenience, and efficiency, Maria says. Right. But the value proposition in buying the vacuum cleaner are not cleanliness. Cleanliness is the benefit of having a vacuum cleaner. The value proposition is what do you get for the money you pay that makes it good value for you to buy. Do you understand that, Min? Do you understand that, Aileen? Do you understand that, Awais Al-Ilahi? Awais Ilahi, do you understand that? Good, excellent. So if you understand what the value proposition is, you are able to basically better put a product that your customers will buy. Because if there is a better value proposition, the more people will buy your product or service. Do you understand that, Muhammad Abdul Hamid? Very good. Do you understand that, Malu Magatuba? Very good. Do you understand that, Maria Cecilia? Yes or no? Yes? Yes? Okay, good. So value proposition is very important. And the other one we said after value proposition is financial viability. Because if the product you're putting on the market does not present a value proposition to your customers, then it will not be financially viable for you to run the business. Does everybody understand this? Yes or no? Good. Let's go back to our slides. Yes, very good. Maribel just said value proposition would be warranty, repairability, cheap spare parts, delivery. Okay, maybe if it's one of those smart vacuum cleaners where you can control them by remote control, maybe being able to operate the vacuum cleaner while you're not at home and have the vacuum cleaner vacuum your home based on a clock or a timer before you come home. That would add a better value proposition to the person who's going to buy the vacuum cleaner. Would you agree with me, Anu? Wouldn't you love if the vacuum cleaner vacuumed your house while you're out with your son on Sunday? Anu, would you be happy with that? Do you have a vacuum cleaner like that, Anu? You do? A smart woman. You see, Anu already has one. Value proposition. Okay. All right. Who else? Does anybody else have a vacuum cleaner that works smart on its own? Yes or no? Very good. Juvie has one. So when Juvie bought this vacuum cleaner, she bought it because it was a value proposition. It provided a service that she requires. Guys, if you have to leave because you've got commitments, that's fine. You will receive the lesson material together with your certificate by email from the lovely Miss Anu. Can everybody wave to Miss Anu? She's here. Everybody wave to my colleague, Miss Anu. Come on, give her a big hand. Miss Anu, could you wave back to everybody, please? Okay, now you have to be good to Miss Anu, otherwise you don't get your certificate or material because she's the boss. She's the one that checks your attendance, all right? Okay, all right, good, excellent. So also, let me explain that when you get your material this week, I will also send you a sample of a SWOT analysis because I think last week Anu forgot to put the SWOT analysis with the last BizTalk material. So we will make sure you get the handout for SWOT analysis together with the material on Monday or Tuesday when she emails it to you. All right, Miss Anu, make sure you remind me, okay? Okay, so remember, SWOT analysis is a tool which is critical before you start any business. So, Nanda, hi, Nanda. Can you lower your hand and open your microphone with your beautiful smile and say hello to me? Tell me, do you understand what I mean by a value proposition, Nanda Tweet? Hi, Nanda, say hello. Hi, Nanda. Say hello. Open your microphone, woman. Hi, Nanda, how are you?
Yeah.
Are you
Hi.
okay? Do you understand today's lesson?
Yes, sir.
Nanda understands today's lesson. Nanda, can you give me a value proposition every time you go to a restaurant to eat? What's the example of a value proposition? Put on your camera, Nanda.
Sorry, sir. I'm still
Okay, can you give me a quick idea? Do you understand what a value proposition is? Nanda understands, she's still at work. Thank you, Nanda. Focus on the lesson. All right. So, value proposition, we all understand. Let's go back and share our lesson material, please. And let's continue this exciting lesson. Okay. So, guys, we said value proposition is number one. So, a value proposition is something that makes the product unique to the customer. And what it does is it makes the product better than its competitor. So by giving a value proposition, you're saying to your customer, we have a product, but we can offer you more than what the competitor offers you, which makes it a differentiating status to your product. It makes your product better than its competitors. And this is really important to be able to attract new customers who currently buy from your competitor. Because if you only attract the remaining customers, that's good. But you also want to try to attract and take away customers from your competitor. And to do that, you need a value proposition. The next part that you see on your screen there is revenue streams. And this refers to the various sources through which a business earns its revenue. Now, think of it realistically. Yes, Salvatron. Yes, Mary Joy. Yes, Jenilyn. Yes, Jane Valdez. Your revenue stream is the money you make from selling your product or service. So, in order to generate a revenue stream which keeps your business competitive, you need to have a number of products or services to generate financial sustainability. Does everybody understand what I mean by financial sustainability? Yes or no? Does everybody understand what we mean by financial sustainability? Good. So the other ideology that you have to come up with is the type of business model that you're going to run. Is it going to be a business that goes business to consumer, or are you also going to sell your products or services business to business? Now, in most businesses today, they only sell business to consumer or business to business. But smarter entrepreneurs who are creative have developed a gate where they run a business which can cater business to business or business to consumer. You can be a wholesaler and sell to other businesses, or you can be a retailer and sell directly to the consumer. Does everybody understand this? Yes or no? Now, there is another type of business that Mary Joy might think about in the future, which is what we call a subscription. Okay, a subscription premium or freemium model. A subscription and freemium models are basically pricing strategies where customers make regular payments for continuous access or regular supply of products. Freemium offers basic services for free with premium features available for an extra price. For example, you contract with a cleaning company to come and clean your house. Salvation works very hard. She's too lazy to clean her house. She contacts a cleaning company and says, I want you to clean my house. And they say, okay, well, we can do basic cleaning on your to your house on an hourly rate. No need to become a member. However, if you prepay us for 12 monthly visits in advance or 24 visits in advance, that's one visit a month or two visits a month, or you could choose 3 visits a month, and you prepay for 1 year or prepay for 6 months, we'll give you a discount and we'll give you a premium service. Not only will our cleaner clean the inside of your house, she will also sweep the balcony, your driveway, and the outside patio if you have one in your house. So freemium service is when you pay for a premium service and get added services. Does everybody understand that? Now, most businesses today offer freemium model. If you look at Amazon, you can join Amazon and pay extra to get guaranteed delivery, fast delivery. It's a freemium service. If you subscribe to Amazon, you're registered with Amazon as a normal customer, you just get normal delivery. Once you upgrade your subscription to Amazon for $6 or $9 a month, you get premium benefits, fast delivery, and all the other benefits. This is something which is a premium with freebies, premium. Does everybody understand that? Yes or no? So today, if you are coming up with new ideology in running a business, you would focus on having B2B, business to business, business to consumer, and you would also think of including a subscription model with freemiums. Now, the other point that you're all going to ask me, well, Mr. Wally, you're telling us all to start a business, sir, but how do we start a business? I don't have any money. Isn't that what you're going to say to me, Salvation? Yeah, I know that, Salvation. All right, Mary Joy's going to say the same thing. Mr. Wally, you told me it's so easy to start a business, but I don't have any money. I work. Right, Mary Joy? Yes, Mary Joy. Yes, I know. Okay. All right. So, Jenilyn is going to tell me the same thing. Jenilyn, you're supposed to be listening to me, Jenilyn. All right, guys. So let's go on. When you think of it, ladies and gentlemen, when you think of it, running a business is more than just doing it for the sake of doing it. Running a business is to make money. Jenny Lisa, I said to Jenny Lisa today, hi, Jenny Lisa, you want to start your own business? Jenny Lisa will say yes, but I need money, 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 right, Jenny Lisa? Yeah, okay. So getting money to start your business is not hard. What is hard is you don't know how to do it. Remember, no one wants to be a failure. People simply don't know how to be successful. Do you understand that, everyone? Yes or no? Okay, so financing your business is quite simple. And there's different ways of financing your business. Number one is by using your personal savings. Utilizing your personal savings is often the first step for you to become an entrepreneur and to start your own business, which gives you complete control without any debt. And you don't have to give away equity. And then you have angel investors or venture capitalists. These are people who are prepared to provide substantial financial support, but they want equity in your business. They could probably give you $25,000 and say they want 50% of your business or your profit. But in return for that, they'll give you guidance. They'll teach you their knowledge in running the business that they invest in. Now, for you to get angel investors and venture capitalists, you have to have an extraordinarily new idea that no one else has copied. Or you have to have ideas which are going to make a product or service that others have launched much better and a much better value proposition that would show the investor that he can get return on his or her investment. All right. So remember, we've said here personal savings, we've said angel investors and venture capital. There is another way of getting money, which is called crowdfunding. And there are several crowdfunding types, including reward-based, equity-based, donation-based. Each type caters for different business models and audience expectations. But crowdfunding is very hard for you to get. And crowdfunding is not something that you want to try in your first year or two of business. You should focus on your personal savings, a bank loan, or one of the two angel investors or venture capitalists. Or you could even find a private investor, somebody who believes in you. If you look at success stories, okay, if you look at Grab or the company that was before Grab, they raised money from investors. Grab raised money through angel and venture capitalists in order to make Grab a success. Amazon started the business. Amazon raised capital, but they raised capital again through angel investors and venture capitalists, which invested in Amazon before they became a multinational company. And now, basically, Amazon is one of the most profitable e-commerce platforms in the world. Okay, so before we go to a mindset, let me just talk about some simple stuff. And this is stuff that I don't want you to get excited about and then go and tell me, oh, Mr. Wally, I'm trying to get crowdfunding, but I can't get it. Because, ladies and gentlemen, crowdfunding is not easy to get. Crowdfunding requires certain skills. And we will have a lesson about what is crowdfunding. It's usually a method of raising capital for new businesses or other endeavors by collecting a small amount of money from a very, very large number of people, typically via the internet. All right. So crowdfunding is not very easy for you to do. And please don't go putting your message out on the internet saying, hey guys, I'm interested in starting a business. Who wants to give me money? Okay. That is not crowdfunding. Crowdfunding requires certain policies. It requires certain criteria that have to be made clear before you take money from anyone. Otherwise, you could end up being charged with fraud and deceiving people to give you money with no returns. All right. So for the love of God, don't try to be a crowd-funded business unless you know how to do that. The easiest way for you to start a business today is to borrow money from your friends or your family. For example, if Anu wanted to start a cake shop, because Anu loves cakes, right, Anu? And Anu is a very good baker. She bakes on the weekend for her son. Is that right, Anu? Okay, so Anu could go to her rich husband and say, hubby, lend me $25,000 to start a bakery. Then she could call her mother and father, millionaires in India. Mama, lend me $10,000 to start a bakery. So she could get private investment from her family and in return offer them a profit share. Mama, I give you a profit share every month as income. Okay, that's one way, hypothetically, that Anu could start a business through private funding through her family. But she has to be very careful that she doesn't give away too many shares, right? So if her mother only gave her $10,000, she doesn't give her 50% of the business. She only gives her 15% of the business. All right? And you have to be very hypothetically smart. She shouldn't give her husband 50% of the business for $20,000 because he only put $20,000 in. probably she gives him 20% of the business, because at the end of the day, she's the one who created the business, right? I'm not saying that you shouldn't give your husband more, but you should value the effort that you're putting in, your intellectual property and running the business, before you're so kind in giving away equity for money. You can always raise equity for the right price. Does everybody understand that? Yes or no? No, I don't know if you know, some businesses go out and raise money through angel investors or capitalists. But what they do, they make a mistake. They give away too much equity. I'll give you an example. Anu wants to open a bakery, but Anu wants to bake Indian bread and distribute it in all of the Gulf countries in the GCC. Kuwait, Saudi, Bahrain, Oman, uh, all of them, okay? The Jordan, all of those countries, right? But listen carefully. For Anu to be able to open a bakery and have factories in 5 or 6 countries, she's going to need millions of dollars to buy equipment, right? Millions of dollars, right? So let's ask this. If she wants to raise money to open her first factory in Dubai, she probably will raise $250,000 and give away 7, 10, 12%. She wouldn't give away 50%, right? Because then when she wants to open her second factory, there won't be enough equity. So deciding how much equity you give to borrow money should be decided on the amount of money you want to borrow and what are the forecasted revenues you have. And that's how you calculate the equity you give away. Does everybody understand that? Yes or no? Now, if you don't know how to do that, you can ask for help, or you can talk to an accountant, okay? Or you can ask me for some help, okay? Does everybody understand that? Do not go borrowing money to start a business and promise people 50% and 20% and 30%, because at the end of the day, you run the business and you will only get 5% profit and you'll be left with nothing. So Malu will be working for nothing, running her own company. Her investors will get 95% of her sales. So be careful how you raise money to run a business. Do you understand that? Yes or no? Smart business people give away as little as possible. They borrow for 5, 10, 12, 15, 20% equity, but they never give away more than 49%. They control the company with 51%. They never give away more than 49%. They are always in control of the company. And that way, when you make money, you can buy back your shares from the investor. All right, does everybody understand this? Yes or no? How you buy back the shares and the price you buy back the shares will also be part of the conditions when you borrow money. Does everybody understand this? Yes or no? Maribel, do you understand this, Maribel? Okay, so borrowing money is possible, but it's not something you want to do without advice. Now, in order to borrow money for a business, you first have to deliver a business plan, right? You first have to come up with a financial projection for that business. And I think it's not next week, not the week, I think it's the week after, we're going to look at how you project financially for your business. We're going to do a lesson about financial projections for a new business. All right. I did this about a year ago, so I'm going to do it again for you. So you'll need to have your pencil, paper, and calculator that day. Does everybody understand that? Yes or no? All right. Okay. And during that lesson, I will tell you what angel investors look for to give you money. All right, guys. Does everybody understand this? Yes or no? Good. Excellent. Let's go back to our PowerPoints. Okay. So let's look at developing the entrepreneurial mindset. The entrepreneurial mindset, guys, is all about the way you think. Okay, just hold on, guys. Let's see why I can't flip pages here. Hold on. Just give me a minute, would you guys? Let me just fix this. No. Okay, here we go. Just give me a minute. Okay, so developing an entrepreneurial mindset. In order for you to succeed as an entrepreneur, you must be resilient and adaptable. Remember, we said resilience is never giving up. If you fail, try again. If you fail, learn and try again. The more mistakes you make, just like Steve Jobs, who got fired for 2 years, just like Jeff Bezos at Amazon, he failed, but he's come back. He's now one of the richest e-commerce platform companies in the world. Look at the guy at Facebook. Look at all the mistakes they've made and how many times the US government has tried to crucify them. They're still successful. They learn from their mistakes. Look at TikTok. The US government now wants an American company to invest and buy shares in TikTok so that Americans can use TikTok, because the Americans are worried about the security that comes along with its current owner, who's a Singaporean, by the way. But for some reason, the Americans are not happy with his China association or whatever it is. So they are now saying to TikTok, they want him to sell shares in TikTok to an American investor to own TikTok and operate TikTok from him in the United States. All right. So the fact is, due to his resilience and adaptability, now the US government wants a share in TikTok. Due to Steve Jobs' resilience and adaptability, 2 years after he was fired, Apple bought him and his companies. He became CEO of Apple, chairman of the board. The other trait of entrepreneurship is vision and goal setting. Before you even contemplate going into business, you have to have goals and visions, set of specific measurable goals to guide you through that journey, helping you to stay focused and motivated through those challenges. Again, when you get the slides for today's lesson, I will also send you how to set SMART goals and a basic business plan that you should start looking at before our next BizTalk, when we learn how to develop a financial estimate for investors. Does everybody understand that? You have to develop a financial plan in your business plan, whether you want to borrow money or whether you want to finance it yourself, so you know how much the business is going to cost you. Does everybody understand this? Yes or no? Because without financial viability, you could go bankrupt after 6 or 12 months. You must have financial viability. Would you agree with that, Anu? Yes, Anu? Okay, Anu's very quiet today. Anu's not happy because none of you are smiling at her. Can everybody smile for Anu, please? Come on, everybody smile. Anu, is everybody smiling? Okay, all right. I see a young guy in glasses here. Joshua, could you wave to Anu? Anu, Mr. Joshua in his blue t-shirt is waving to you. Can you see Joshua, Anu? Okay, all right. Good stuff, Joshua. Duk Trung Gwyn. Hi, Duk. Wave to me, Duk. Wave to me. Wave to me, Mr. Gwyn. Good on you, Gwyn. I hope you understand today's lesson, Duk Trung. Thank you, sir. Thank you, Mr. Gwyn. Okay. Thank you, Marites. Marites is always waving Anu. She's one of our regular students. You know Marites, Anu? You send her the material every week, right? Sava Salvation. She's a regular. Lorelai's a regular. Lorelai, can you wave to Miss Anu in your beautiful pink outfit? There you go, Anu. They all know you. All right. So remember, guys, with today's lesson, I'm going to send you SWOT analysis template, goal setting template, and also a very simple template for a business financial plan. Does everybody understand that? Yes or no? All right. Thank you. You will get them with this week's lesson material. You need to understand, ladies and gentlemen, the importance in entrepreneurship of continuous learning and growth. An entrepreneur is somebody who we said, remember, is resilient and adaptable. Being resilient and adaptable means ongoing learning, continuous learning. Does everybody understand this? Yes or no? You all understand what I mean by that? Okay, good. So continuous learning means you listening to people, you asking for mentorship and guidance from experts who can help you, people who you employ to work for you with experience in the business that you're setting up. And networking. You have to build a network with suppliers, industry, and other people in that industry so you can learn from them. All right, so basically what we've discussed today, guys, what we've discussed today is we've discussed the ideologies and innovative ideas for you as future entrepreneurs. Does everybody understand what I mean by that? Yeah, we've discussed what it means or what you need to be an innovative entrepreneur. And we've also said that understanding business strategy is one. Key business ideologies are critical, your creativity. You have to be able to come up with ideas which will solve problems around the world, not just copy what other people have done. You need to actually go through a process of evaluating those ideas by making sure they answer the 5 C's of customer-centric or customer centricity. They answer to SWOT, and they are basically an idea which will bring value to the customer. Remember, value to the customer. What is the value that they're going to give the customer? Remember, we said that for a customer to buy something, there has to be value in the product, right? Yes or no? Yes or no? So you need to understand this. You need to understand what it takes to build a business model and which business model you need to build. You have to understand how to finance your business and develop a financial business plan, and more than ever, have an entrepreneurial mindset. And remember, guys, it all goes back to one of the greatest business ideology models ever in this world, whether you believe it or not. And that was Steve Jobs, because Steve Jobs became a millionaire in the first few months of him taking over Apple completely. Innovation, minimalist design, simple to use, integrated ecosystem, with a philosophy of focusing on the customer, having a sense of empathy and attribution, where you're always there to contribute to the customer and provide the customer something that will solve their problem. Okay, we said here that financial viability and market potential is very important. And we also said that to do this, you have to look at financial viability. Without financial viability, people won't buy your product. Okay? Because if there's no financial viability in being able to provide a new product which is better than other competitors, then it has no market potential. Okay? No market potential. So value proposition, remember, the better the value proposition, the more people that will buy from you. Because if they don't buy from you and you don't have enough products or services, then you will not generate enough revenue streams to keep your business financially viable. Does everybody understand what I just said? Yes or no? Okay. So let me give you a simple business model. If you want to open a coffee shop, don't just open a coffee shop for the sake of opening a coffee shop. Make sure that your coffee shop can deliver a type of coffee that either tastes better than all the other coffee shops or is a different type of coffee. But if you just want to open a coffee shop and buy an espresso machine and try to be Starbucks, you'll fail because you will never be able to produce the taste that Starbucks produces, because their beans are grown exclusively under contract for Starbucks. They're roasted exclusively for Starbucks, and the quality of the roasting or the temperature of roasting and the roasting recipe for Starbucks beans is only known by Starbucks. Yeah, I'm sure there's other companies around the world that say they have an espresso bean, but espresso from Coffee Bean, espresso from Gloria Jeans, espresso from McDonald's, and espresso from Starbucks all taste differently. Do you understand what I mean by that? So unless you have a product which you know has a competitive edge over your competitor, don't even go down those doors, because there's no creativity or ideology in what you're doing. You're just copying someone else. Bringing ideology into starting a business means going out of the box and factoring all the elements in of making it viable, okay, added value to customers, catering for more than one business model, B2B, B2C, and also, you know, premium or freemium, as we call subscription models. Okay, all these are elements of how businesses can be successful. Let me give you some example. There is people in America who started online businesses themselves, okay? Now, when they started online businesses, they do not hold product in their own stock. What happens is they have an agreement with a supplier. It's called the drop shipping business. So Malu has an agreement with 10 suppliers in her country. And all of these suppliers make the same sort of product. They make women's fashion, dresses, blouses, t-shirts, skirts, swimwear. And Mary Lou or Mei Lu promotes all of these through her website, through social media. Okay, she promotes them in different places. But when the customer pays for the product, Mei Lu doesn't ship the product. The supplier ships it directly to the customer. It's called drop shipping. And what that means is Mei Lu does not have to invest in the stock up front. Understand that? So she may have to promise her supplier 100 pieces a week, but she doesn't have to buy them up front. But if she doesn't sell 100 pieces a week, the supplier could increase her cost price. So drop shipping is a very cheap way of starting a business. And usually drop shipping businesses that have more products are more successful. I can tell you about one drop shipping business in America that made $1,000 in his first week. By the third week, he made $15,000. He is now generating somewhere upwards of $1.5 million a year from drop shipping. But this guy was unemployed. He had no job, and he only had his last salary. And he wondered, how can he start a business without buying merchandise? So he communicated with suppliers in different countries. They agreed to let him drop ship their product. Eventually, he became so big that he is now on Amazon.com. He is on Shopee.com. and he's on other platforms as well. He cannot be on Alibaba because Alibaba focuses on Chinese manufacturers. He doesn't want to be on Alibaba. He's on Shopee and he's on Amazon, right? He is now generating 1.15 million a year. He started with nothing. He's only been in business for 13 months. Okay? 13 months. Anybody can start a drop shipping business, but you have to find products that people really want. Understand that? So this is called using ideology in creating a business, not just copying somebody else's business model. Does everybody understand this? Yes or no? Come on, guys, show me your hands. Come on. There's 390 something of you here. Show me your hands, everyone. No one wants to show me their hands, Anu. They're all shy today. They're only waving their hands to you, Anu. Okay. Rolina, how are you, Rolina? Wave your hand to me, young Rolina. Very good, Rolina. Hello, Melisa. How are you, Melisa? What are you cooking? Melisa's at work cooking. Nice to see you, Melisa. Can I have some? Good on you, Melisa. Okay. Min Wee So. How are you, Mr. So? Did you enjoy today's lesson, Min Wee? Good on you, Min Wee. Okay. Does anybody want to ask Wally a question? Can you put up your hands or write your question in the chat box? I would love to answer it. You know, I am motivated when you ask me questions. If I talk, like a lot of the ladies do, and you don't ask me questions, I don't get motivated. Okay? Anu knows. She asks me one question every day. Otherwise, I don't get motivated and I call her, right, Anu? Isn't that what usually happens? Okay. Yeah, okay. So, who wants to ask the first question? Hands up. Come on. Okay, Murphy Jubail, do you have a question for me, Murphy? Unmute your microphone, Murphy. What's your question, mate? Murphy, do you have a question? Hi, Murphy. Would you like to unmute your microphone and talk to me? Okay, good. Does anybody else have a question for Wally? Come on, guys. Okay. All right. Okay. Well, can I remind you? I think Miss Anu has already told you in both chat groups. I think in both, you've told both, right, Anu, both rooms, that you can follow us on Instagram, YouTube, or Facebook. And I really want you today to go ahead and give me the thumbs up in either Facebook, Instagram, or YouTube in the Apex stories. And if you don't do that, I want you to put a message there. I love your BizTalk, Mr. Wally. I want more. And if you want me to talk about a special subject, tell me what it is or send me a message by WhatsApp. My WhatsApp number for all of you is country code +65 822 5220. Miss Anu will put it in both chat boxes for you now. Can you do that, Miss Anu? Thank you very much. All right, I have a question about drop shipping. Who's the question from? Hold on, guys. I got questions. Let me just look at the questions. Hold on. Okay, hold on, guys. What's the difference of the two? Alvin, can you write the question again, Alvin? I can't see your question, mate. Okay, all right. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. What's the difference of the two? Which two, Alvin? Alvin, can you explain which two are you asking, mate? Okay, let me just see what the question is. Hold on. Alvin, you asked me a question. What's the difference between the two? Can you write your question again, please? I have a business, sir, discussing more of business. Did you try to open a business of your own? And what is it? Well, yeah, I opened a training company in Singapore about 25 years ago. I made a million or $2, and I closed it after 12 months because of SARS. Yes, I did that, But after that, I was offered a very good corporate job with a company, and I decided to work for a company instead of opening the business again. Yes, I have been an entrepreneur. I learned the hard way. When SARS hit the world, I lost nearly $500,000 out of savings that I made during that year. Does everybody know SARS? It was an epidemic, but much smaller than COVID-19. Okay, good. Okay, let's go on. Okay, I have since, okay, all right. Hello, sir. How to do drop shipping? Well, drop shipping basically, Florum, is basically when you, Floramite, is basically when you open a business, but you don't hold any stock. If you're interested in drop shipping, Floramite, I will hold a biz talk on drop shipping. So next week is a long weekend. The week after that, we'll do developing a financial business plan. And then the following week will be leadership. So the following week after leadership, I will do one lesson on how to start a drop shipping business. Would you be happy with that, Floramine? Yes or no? Very good. Okay. Okay, great. Okay, let's go on. Do you have a business? Yes, I am. Interested in drop shipping business topics? Well, yeah, you're welcome. Well, Floramite, drop shipping is usually a business that caters for affordable products, and usually products that are unusual, products that people want. And usually they're products that are unique and not things that they can commonly find in a shop. Drop shipping can include designer socks. Drop shipping can include designer t-shirts. Drop shipping can include anything, tablecloths, bed sheets, towels, anything where people can order from an online catalog. Okay, now, I know of one drop shipping business who sells socks. Yes, Malu, socks. And they have gone to subscription base. So every month you pay 20 US dollars, and every month they ship 2 pairs of designer socks to you. Now, if you want to buy additional pairs of socks during your subscription, you get a discount. So instead of paying $15 a pair, if you're a premium member, you buy for $9 a pair. And if you don't want to become a member, you can just buy whenever you like, but the socks cost you like $25 a pair. This started as a drop shipping business. And what happens every month, their factory, the factory they buy from, gives them 10 or 20 new designs, which they promote through their social media, through Facebook, and through the e-commerce platform that they advertise on, Carousel. Okay, does everybody understand that? Yes or no? But drop shipping does not work for food, all right? Don't do it for food, you'll fail, okay? All right. Sophia, you have a question for me, Sophia? Go ahead, Sophia. What's your question? Can you unmute? Yeah, what's your question, Sophia? Yeah, go ahead. What's your question?
Or different business.
Sorry, can you repeat that again?
The drop shipping and reseller, it's the same or the different business?
Drop shipping is where you do not hold stock. Stock is held by the supplier. You sell it, the supplier ships it. That's drop shipping. You understand that?
Oh, okay, sir. Thank you.
Okay, what was the other one?
Reseller.
Sorry, can you repeat that again? I can't hear you. Reseller. Okay. A reseller, ladies and gentlemen, is when you buy from someone, okay, and you distribute to someone. For example, you buy t-shirts. You have a designer t-shirt which is designed for you in a factory in China. It's your own design, right? And you have a minimum order quantity of 10,000 t-shirts, but you can't sell them all. So you allow someone to resell your designs, okay? You sell to him wholesale, he resells them retail, all right? That is a reseller, okay? It's totally different to drop shipping, okay? And let me just explain something because I know what you're thinking of. Can I run drop shipping with a reseller? No, because you don't make money. Because with drop shipping, Sophia, you're paying the supplier to ship to the customer, right? So you sell the product for $5 plus the shipping costs from the supplier, right? So when the supplier ships to the customer, you pay the supplier the cost. So if you're selling it for $5, the cost is $2, you pay the supplier $2. You make $3 profit, right? Okay. Now the shipping is usually the buyer adds to the buy. So they buy $5 and you already have the shipping costs in your website or in your social media. It could be $2, $3, $4, whatever it is. So the shipping money you have to pay to the supplier, the cost of the goods you pay to the supplier, you're left with the profit, right? So if you bring in a reseller and share the profit from drop shipping, you'll have nothing left. So if the item is worth $10, the cost is $6, you make $4, and you have a reseller, he wants $2, you might as well give up. You're working for nothing. Okay, so in drop shipping, no reseller. If you want to actually buy the stock, carry your own stock, and sell some of it as a wholesaler to a reseller, and he sells it on your behalf, that's fine. But the reseller has to buy the stock off you first and pay you for it. You give him the stock. You don't give the reseller stock on credit. You may never get it back. Be very careful, all right? Especially if he's a new reseller with no financial credibility. Okay?
Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, so Sophia was asking the difference between a reseller and a drop ship business. A reseller is where you appoint someone to resell your product or your design. So you sell to them as a wholesaler and they resell it as a retailer. Drop shipping does not include resellers. Drop shipping is where you represent the factory, the supplier, you sell it, the factory ships directly to your customer. Do you understand that, everyone? Yes or no? Yes or no? You know, I had ideas of doing this with food once, but it didn't work. I had a friend overseas. She tried to make local food and do it. It didn't work because by the time she shipped it, the food had gone off. She tried with her family in other countries. It didn't work. So do not do drop shipping in the food business. It doesn't work. Okay. Does everybody understand that? Yes or no? Does anybody have any questions for Wally? Please. Come on, guys. Be nice to me. Ask me some questions. You're really mean. No one wants to ask me questions. You're making me feel lonely. Okay. Okay, Miss Anu, do not share the link to the material with anyone. Everybody will get the material on Monday. Miss Anu, do not use the material I've sent you. I will be upgrading it, okay? I will upgrade it. I will include the business plan and SWOT in the material, okay, Anu? Okay, does anybody have any questions? No? Are you sure? All right, everybody wave to me if you've enjoyed my session. Come on. Everybody wave to Wally if you've enjoyed Wally's session. I want to see waves. I only see 20 waves. Come on. Okay, good. Excellent. Thank you very much, Simomi Mwang. Thank you very much, Mary. Thank you, Mary Jane. Thank you so much for your compliments. If you really mean those compliments, guys, I need you to do more. It's no point just writing it here. I want you to go to Facebook right now after the lesson and leave a mark for me. Say, Mr. Wally, we really enjoyed your BizTalk today. Can we have more, please? All right. Okay. Do it on Facebook, do it on Instagram, then go to the Apex Stories on YouTube and leave your comments there. And if you really have time, you can send me a message as well. Okay. All right, guys, please. I expect to see 390 messages today on social media. That means Miss Anu will be very busy tomorrow checking all the social media messages, right, Miss Anu? Okay. Any questions? does drop shipping have a downside? Yes, it does. If you don't have enough customers and your supplier changes the price halfway through the month, then you cannot honor the price you sold to your customers. So if you want to go into drop shipping, you have to make sure that your supplier will honor the cost price for a fixed period, 3 months or 6 months. Okay? Does everybody understand that? Yes or no? Does everybody understand that question? Yeah? Are you sure? Okay, guys. From myself, Wally Rauda, your host today, thank you very much for joining BizTalk. It's been my absolute pleasure having you. I look forward to seeing you all at the next BizTalk, not next Saturday, but the following Saturday. From me, I love you all. I look forward to seeing you all in the next BizTalk or leadership session. To my co-host, Mr. Anu, thank you for having me as your speaker in BizTalk today. It's my absolute pleasure. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, everyone, for being here. I will see you all at the next BizTalk. God bless you. We love you all. Continue studying. And remember that learning is an ongoing journey in your life. And remember Wally's line. What does Wally always say? I believe in myself. Everybody say it. I believe in myself. Come on, I want to see your hands wave. I believe in myself. Everyone, I believe in myself. Good. Everybody, again, I can. I can. I will. I believe in myself. Thank you so much, everybody. Thank you, Miss Anu. Thank you, everybody. God bless you all. Good night.